Here with head football coach Lonnie Pries. Coach, thanks for your time today. First, just start off by kind of recapping. Last week, went out there a couple days early to do tourist things in New York, and then obviously play a Division I opponent in Wagner. Just kind of talk about that weekend overall.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. We got used to, between the St. Ambrose trip the week before and this trip, we really got used to riding the bus. So it was a long trip out there, but our guys handled it well. We got out there, kind of went out a half a day early just so the guys could recover and get some sleep and so on. And then we really took advantage of being out in New York. There's a lot of our players, most of our players, coaches, and some of the parents who came out, and we had a good crew of parents as well that had never been there before. So really packed in Friday with Ellis Island, Statue of Liberty, Times Square, Central Park, whatever we could kind of fit in there, and then obviously ending with the 9/11, the Twin Towers area, which is obviously pretty powerful and a big reason why we set this up, especially for our seniors to do something like that. And also the flip side of it is to play a team like Wagner with Division I type talent, to see, not as much to see where we stand up against them, but more so to get our guys ready for the kind of competition they're going to face. And that starts this week with Siena. I mean, our side of the conference has got a lot of really good football players, really great athletes, and that was also to kind of get our guys ready for the competition in this, in the mid-states. So
Going back to the Wagner game, 38-0 loss, but some of the positives that you've been able to take away from that game, especially the defensive unit in the second half, really kind of controlled the game outside of maybe 3 big plays there. Overall, pretty competitive.
Yeah, and not to dwell on the negative, because we definitely don't look at this game as being, we kept it to 38-0. I mean, there was some stuff on special teams that was kind of exploited by them that we got to take care of. Offensively, we had some drives, a couple of them that were pretty solid drives, but we didn't finish. So we talked quite a bit about that. And it was interesting how when we especially evaluated offense, and I think some on the other units, defensive, special teams, how was our, Wagner's very good, very talented, but it was also just as much our execution, not running the play the right way, that prevented us from keeping drives going or getting in the end zone. So a lot of mental stuff we had to work on. Defense, as you said, played very well. Obviously, Wagner had a couple of big plays against them, but the tackling of our defense and their pursuit and really executing the game plan on that side, they did a much better job than we did on offense. So definitely some positives to take from it. Definitely some, I'd say more things to fix. But that's another reason why you play that better competition, to kind of get. It's kind of like looking in the mirror and saying, all right, what do I got to fix about myself? What do we got to fix about our team? And when you play a top-notch opponent, that you're gonna find that out real quick. So
Along those lines, then, how does that carryover or kind of mindset affected practice this week in preparation for Siena Heights?
Well, knowing the kind of team Siena is, knowing their athleticism, their talent, it I think really helped our guys after we watched film of ourselves and realized, okay, we play a very athletic and talented team like we did last week. You better take care of these things fundamentally. You better execute these things, or else we're not going to be very successful. And I think in watching Siena and watching them on tape, seeing how talented they are, I think this week really the focus on our guys was, all right, focus on what you do within each play and do it right. Because if you don't, like Wagner did last week and like Siena will do this week, it's gonna come back to bite you. So really kind of a focus on our execution of things is what we really need to work on.
Last year, you were able to beat Siena at Siena, first time in school history. What would be some takeaways or kind of some keys to the game, if you will, to be able to make it 2 years in a row?
Well, as both teams know, every team knows that last week doesn't mean anything. So you know, I think as far as preparing for this year, it's, as I told their staff last year, it's nice to, you know, make it a close game and to have a rivalry. I mean, we're the only two teams in Michigan, so that was the excitement with it was great. I'm sure it'll be exciting tomorrow. As we prepare for this game, I think, you know, if looking back to last year's game or any game, I mean, we executed the second half and finished drives. In the first half, we didn't. They caught us off guard in some ways with the tempo of their offense. They've done a great job this year. They've done it to us in the past with getting points off of turnovers. You know, kind of maybe let some teams drive on it, but then shut it down with a turnover. So we have to. I mean, we absolutely have to take care of the ball. They are very talented in their secondary and defense. So not just last year, but years past, and watching them on film, that is something that we know we have to do, and we have to play within ourselves, or else they're gonna take advantage of it. So, and I think defensively, for us on defense is just to be ready for an up-tempo game if they choose to do that like they did last year, to execute our things, and if they do start going with the faster tempo, you know, we're not going to be able to sub as much as, you know, any defense would like to do. So we got to really know what we're doing, be able to, you know, communicate the play in, execute it, and be able to respond quickly. You know, and then of course special teams is that area that in a game like this could play a huge factor, because it's going to be, you know, it's probably going to be a dogfight.
Good. Thanks for your time today, Coach. Good luck tomorrow against Siena Heights. Head coach Lonnie Pries.
Thanks.